My name is Charlotte. I'm a 62-year-old retiree living in a small house in the suburbs of California. This home is filled with so many memories. I started living here when my husband James was still alive, and we raised our son Nathan here. Although James passed away 6 years ago, his presence can still be felt in every corner of the house. These days, I live with Nathan, his wife Olivia, and their adorable granddaughter Willow. Nathan is 35 and works as an engineer at an IT company. He's loved tinkering with machines since he was a little boy. Olivia is 32 and works as a childcare teacher. She's like an angel to the children, and Willow is especially attached to her. Willow is 5 years old. With her golden curls and big blue eyes, she looks like she stepped right out of a storybook. When she's here, the whole house is filled with laughter and joy. Holding her tiny hand in mine makes me feel like all the hardships have been worth it. The time I spend with Willow is the most precious part of my life. After losing my husband, I felt like there was a gaping hole in my heart for a long time. But Willow's presence has slowly started to fill that void. When I sit her on my lap and read to her, I feel a true sense of happiness. Nathan and Olivia mean the world to me too. Despite their busy lives, they always put family first. One day, Nathan and Olivia decided to take Willow on a trip. They hadn't had a proper vacation since their honeymoon, so this was an exciting event for both them and Willow. To be honest, I felt a little lonely, but I knew it would be good for Willow to have some new experiences. Nathan and Olivia threw themselves into the trip preparations, poring over guidebooks and making plans almost every day. I could tell how much they were looking forward to this getaway. "Mom, please take care of the house while we're away," Olivia said to me. On the morning of their departure, the house was bustling with activity. Nathan loaded the suitcases into the car while Olivia did a final check. Willow had a little backpack on and was hopping around with excitement. "Grandma, look! New sneakers!" Willow proudly showed me her feet. Those tiny feet looked ready for a new adventure. "They're wonderful, Willow. I'm sure lots of adventures are waiting for you," I said, hugging her close and kissing her cheek. Olivia expressed her gratitude to me. "Knowing you're here puts our minds at ease." "Thank you." In the car, Willow kept repeating how excited she was to go on an airplane. I waved until I couldn't see her smiling face anymore, then went back inside. Returning to the house alone, the silence felt more pronounced. Without Willow's laughter and the patter of her little feet, the house seemed bigger. I looked forward to their safe return, knowing Willow would have many new stories to share. That night, even with the TV on, something felt missing without Willow's voice. I went to her room where her little bed was neatly made, her favorite stuffed animal resting on top. "Willow, hurry back," I whispered to myself. I resolved to enjoy the quiet time alone while eagerly awaiting her return. On the day Nathan, Olivia and Willow were supposed to come back from their trip, I was waiting by the front door to greet them. Hearing the car pull into the driveway, I hurried outside. I expected to hear Willow's energetic voice, but only Nathan and Olivia emerged from the vehicle, their faces grim. "Mom, we're home," Nathan said in a weary voice. His face showed exhaustion and an indescribable tension. "Welcome back, Nathan and Olivia. Where's Willow?" I peered into the back seat. But Willow was nowhere to be seen. Olivia glanced away for a moment, her eyes brimming with tears. "Willow. She had an accident on the trip and passed away." The instant those words reached my ears, time seemed to stop. My mind went blank and I was at a loss for words. "What? That can't be. I don't believe it. How?" I stood there in shock. Nathan's shoulders sagged as he let out a deep sigh. "Mom, we still can't believe it either. It was a truly unfortunate accident. How could this happen? Willow. She was so full of life." My voice trembled. Olivia broke down crying and Nathan held her shoulders. I was paralyzed, unable to do anything but stand there. I couldn't accept the reality that Willow was gone. That night, I went to Willow's room and sat on her bed. Her scent still lingered there. Hugging the stuffed animal by her pillow, tears streamed down my face. I couldn't believe Willow would never return to this house again. Nathan and Olivia shut themselves in their room, barely speaking. A deep sadness and silence filled our home. I tried to recall Willow's smile and laughter, but those memories pierced my heart with pain. Desperate to know the details of Willow's accident, I asked Nathan, "What happened? How did Willow?" Nathan's face darkened. He was silent for a while but finally spoke heavily. "Mom, I don't want to go into the details. But it was a tragic accident. We're deeply hurt too." That explanation wasn't enough. Something felt off, like something was being hidden. But seeing Nathan and Olivia's anguish, I swallowed my words, unable to press further. That night, I couldn't sleep. Willow's face and voice wouldn't leave my mind as tears fell endlessly. My heart was shrouded in deep doubts. Did she really die in an accident or was there some hidden truth? Ever since the day Nathan and Olivia told me of Willow's death, my life has completely changed. Each day without her is quiet, lonely, and feels like there's a gaping hole in my heart. Everywhere I look in the house, I'm reminded of her smile and voice. Waking up and gazing at the living room where she always played, tears flow unbidden. Her little chair and favorite picture books remain in their places, all painful reminders that she is no longer here. At night, I make a habit of going to the room where Willow slept and sitting on her bed. Burying my face in her pillow, I can almost catch her scent, and my chest tightens with grief. Nathan and Olivia also seem unable to move past Willow's death. Occasionally, I hear Olivia's muffled sobs from their room. Nathan barely speaks and some days doesn't go to work, shutting himself in at home. One day, I received an email notification on my phone. When I checked the sender, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was from Willow. At first, I thought it must be some mistake. But when I opened the email, it read, "Grandma, help me. I'm still alive." In that instant, my whole body trembled and I gasped for air. What did this mean? Willow was alive. I couldn't comprehend what was happening. But the content of the email was undeniably from Willow, her familiar tone and way of speaking. I immediately rushed to Nathan and Olivia, showing them the email. "Nathan, Olivia, look at this. I got an email from Willow." For a moment, Nathan looked shocked, but quickly changed his expression. He stared at me coldly and said in a choked voice, "Mom, that must be some mistake. Willow is all ready." Olivia, her eyes red and swollen, weakly said, "Mom, you need to accept reality." I felt angry at their reactions. How could they be so calm about this? Why wouldn't they believe the possibility that Willow was alive? I believe Willow. If she's asking for help, I'll do whatever it takes to save her, I resolved. I headed straight to the police station. The hope that Willow was still alive drove me, and I was seized by a strong desire to rescue her no matter what. At the reception desk, I desperately showed them Willow's email. "Please. My granddaughter is asking for help. Please investigate this," I pleaded, tears streaming down my face. The police officers were initially perplexed, but seeing my desperation, they agreed to look into it. The detective in charge asked me for details and carefully examined the email's contents. It will take time to trace the source of this email. And this alone isn't sufficient evidence. "Can you think of anything else?" the detective said. "Nathan and Olivia claim Willow died in an accident. But I can't believe it. Something isn't right," I explained frantically. The police promised to proceed with the investigation, but unease lingered within me. If the evidence was lacking, there was no telling how far the police would go. I felt I needed to find some clues myself. Returning home, Nathan and Olivia seemed suspicious of my actions. Nathan stared intently at my face and demanded, "Mom, where have you been?" "It's nothing. I was just worried about Willow." I made an excuse, but his gaze was sharp. I decided to search Willow's room, thinking she may have left some clues behind. I scoured every corner, checked drawers and closets. But I found no notable leads. Ever since receiving Willow's email, my mind hadn't known peace. The police investigation made no progress, only fueling my impatience with each passing day. I felt I needed to take some action myself to save Willow. One day, I waited for Nathan and Olivia to go out, then thoroughly searched the house again, looking for any clues connected to Willow. I meticulously inspected each room. Entering Nathan's room, I carefully examined his desk and found a locked drawer. Searching around, I finally found a spare key hidden under the desk. Unlocking it revealed the drawer stuffed with documents. Carefully checking each one, I found several loan agreements with large sums. I had no idea Nathan was saddled with such substantial debt. Digging further, I found a life insurance policy in Willow's name. It stated a high payout amount in the event of her death. Why are these here? My hands shook and my heart pounded like a drum. Life insurance. It felt like there was some premeditated intent. Next, I searched Olivia's room. Looking through her closet and drawers, I found a diary hidden in the depths. It was definitely in Olivia's handwriting. What caught my eye was mention of her planning something with Nathan. The details weren't spelled out, but it was clear the two were secretly carrying out some plan. Are Nathan and Olivia involved in Willow's death? Suspicions swirled in my mind. I was certain they were hiding something. But this alone wasn't decisive proof. I contacted the police again, showing them the newly discovered documents and parts of the diary. The police showed interest, saying this could advance the investigation, but I still felt it wasn't enough. I have no choice but to keep investigating myself, I resolved in my heart. To save Willow, I needed to find more solid evidence. Mustering my tired body, I decided to continue my search the next day. The following day, I secretly observed Nathan and Olivia's behavior, trying to glean clues from their conversations and demeanor. But they seemed on guard, perhaps realizing I was on to them. Still, I persisted, carefully watching what they did and where they went. At one point, I overheard Nathan on the phone with someone. His voice was low, his tone suggesting he was concealing something. "It's fine, we'll proceed as planned. The insurance paperwork is going smoothly," he said. Those words sent a chill down my spine. As much as I wanted to believe Willow was alive, there was no doubt Nathan and Olivia were carrying out some horrifying scheme. As I continued searching for leads on Willow, my life was completely upended. The once peaceful days spent with family had turned into days filled with suspicion and dread. I was doing everything in my power to uncover the truth, believing Willow was alive, but those actions incurred Nathan and Olivia's wrath. One morning, I discovered all my car tires had been slashed. It was clearly done intentionally. Nearby was a note saying, "Stop snooping around." I intuited it was Nathan and Olivia's doing, but lacking evidence, I couldn't directly confront them. Even so, I didn't give up. To get clues about Willow, I asked around her friends and neighbors, trying to confirm if she had seemed anxious at all or if anything unusual happened before the trip. But no concrete leads emerged. Then one day, I found a suspicious letter in my mailbox at home. Inside was a threatening message: "If you keep making a fuss, there's no telling what will happen to you next." For a moment I faltered, but I couldn't back down from saving Willow. That night, Nathan and Olivia barged into my room. Nathan stared at me coldly and said, his anger evident, "Mom, enough already. Because of you, we could lose everything." "Nathan, Willow is alive. Why won't you admit it?" I pleaded desperately. Olivia said, "You're mentally ill. Willow is gone. Stop tormenting us any further." Their attitudes were cruel, and my heart felt torn to shreds. But I believed in Willow. As long as she was asking for help, I would never give up. I contacted the police again, reporting the threatening letter. The police gradually started taking my pleas seriously. The detectives began monitoring Nathan and Olivia's actions and intensified the investigation. Meanwhile, I started to suspect Willow was being held captive somewhere. I began searching for possible locations. If Willow was hidden away, I believed there had to be clues. I watched the police investigation with a prayerful heart. Wishing for Willow's safety, I spoke to her in my mind. "Willow, just hold on a little longer. I'll definitely come to save you." However, the police investigation was slow to make progress. So I decided to seek help from my friend Benjamin Smith, a former detective. Although retired, he had years of experience and sharp instincts. When I explained the situation, he immediately promised to help. "Charlotte, this could get quite dangerous. But let's do everything we can for Willow," Benjamin said. We started monitoring Nathan and Olivia's movements even more closely. With Benjamin's help, we identified places they frequented and investigated the surrounding areas. Finally, we found an abandoned factory where Willow was likely being held. "This is it. Willow might be inside," Benjamin said. We decided to check the factory ourselves before notifying the police. Approaching under cover of night, we indeed heard a faint voice from inside. It was Willow's voice. My heart pounded fiercely, and tears welled up. "Benjamin, Willow is here," I said, unable to contain my excitement. "Let's proceed carefully, Charlotte," Benjamin calmly replied. We snuck in through the factory's back door and cautiously advanced. Moving down a dark hallway, we spotted Willow in the distance. She was sitting in a small room, looking frightened. At that moment, Nathan and Olivia appeared before us, their faces a mix of anger and fear. Nathan shouted, "Mom, what are you doing here?" "I came to save Willow." "Why did you do this?" I demanded, my voice shaking. "Don't interfere anymore." Olivia glared at me. Benjamin calmly intervened, saying, "It's over. The police will be here soon. Don't resist." But Nathan and Olivia showed no signs of giving up and attacked us. A fierce struggle ensued. Benjamin also fought desperately to subdue them. "Willow, run!" I shouted, trying to guide her to safety. Willow, confused and crying, followed my instructions and started running. Hearing her little footsteps fading amid the sounds of our struggle, I felt a small measure of relief. With Benjamin's help, we managed to restrain Nathan and Olivia. Just then, police sirens could be heard. Benjamin had called them. Officers rushed to our aid. Nathan and Olivia were still resisting but were apprehended by the police. Nathan stared at me with fury-filled eyes and said, "Mom, why would you?" But I looked back at him calmly. "Nathan, what you did is unforgivable. I don't know what you were thinking, but this is wrong," I replied with a resolute attitude. Olivia, tears streaming down her face, tried to make excuses, saying, "We just..." But the police arrested her and Nathan. Willow was safely rescued. Benjamin confirmed our safety and smiled with relief. "You did well, Charlotte. Willow is safe now," he said. "Thank you so much, Benjamin. I don't know what would have happened without you," I conveyed my gratitude. "Grandma, I was so scared." "Thank you for saving me," Willow said tearfully. "Willow, it's all right now. We'll always be together from now on," I whispered gently to her. After safely rescuing Willow, I held her tight, feeling the warmth of her little body as tears flowed. "I'm sorry, Willow. I couldn't find you sooner." "I'm so sorry," I apologized, stroking her hair. "But it's okay now. Grandma is here with you," I whispered softly. Willow, still trembling, nodded as if reassured in my arms. With Nathan and Olivia arrested, questioning began at the police station. They consistently maintained their innocence, repeatedly insisting Willow's disappearance was an unfortunate accident. Meanwhile, the police started examining the evidence I provided. The loan documents, Willow's life insurance policy, and their suspicious behavior all started coming together as pieces of the puzzle. As Willow underwent counseling, she gradually began talking about what she experienced. Her testimony was crucial for the police and became an important clue in uncovering the truth. Daddy and Mommy said they had to make it seem like I disappeared, but it was for everyone's sake. I was so scared. Willow told me, crying. The police officers recorded Willow's statement and subjected Nathan and Olivia to even harsher questioning. But they continued to deny the crime. "We didn't do anything wrong. This is all a misunderstanding," Nathan claimed. "My mother-in-law is fabricating everything." "Willow is just confused," Olivia agreed. However, as the police continued their pursuit, Nathan and Olivia's lies began to unravel. Contradictions and unnatural statements in their actions came to light one after another, exposing their plan. In the end, their confessions revealed the whole truth. They had targeted Willow's life insurance money to pay off their debts, planning to hold her captive and fake her death. The plan ended in failure. Nathan and Olivia were formally indicted and would be tried in court. Many people gathered in the courtroom, and tension hung in the air. Taking the witness stand, Willow mustered her courage and spoke of her experience. "If it weren't for Grandma, I don't know what would have happened to me. Daddy and Mommy hurt me," she said tearfully. "I also took the stand, explaining the full extent of their plan. They were saddled with enormous debt. And to get their hands on Willow's life insurance, they tried to hold her captive and fake her death," I stated. The judge listened to our testimonies and understood the maliciousness of Nathan and Olivia's actions. The debt was overwhelming. We tried to solve everything with Willow's insurance money. It was the only way. Nathan pleaded, tears in his eyes. We were truly cornered. We didn't want to hurt Willow. But we had no choice. Olivia continued. However, the judge sternly declared, "What you did can never be forgiven. These actions have strayed from the path of being parents and human beings." Willow's testimony and the evidence I provided were decisive, proving their guilt. Nathan and Olivia received harsh sentences, with lengthy prison terms for their respective crimes. After the sentencing, I held Willow tight. "It's truly over now. You don't have to worry anymore," I whispered. Willow hugged me back and smiled, saying, "Grandma, thank you. I'm okay now." Afterward, we began preparing for our new life. To heal Willow's emotional wounds, I dedicated myself to spending a lot of time with her and watching over her growth. We'll always be together from now on, Willow. Let's overcome any hardships together, I vowed. Willow nodded as if drawing strength from those words. Yes, Grandma. We'll always be together, she replied. Seeing her smile, I felt hope for the future. Years passed. The memories of the incident never completely faded, but Willow overcame that experience and grew into a strong, bright young girl. Willow is now in her final year of elementary school, laughing with friends and actively participating in school activities. Every time I see her smile, I feel deeply relieved and happy. Grandma, guess what happened at school today? Willow would happily recount her daily experiences. Seeing her innocent demeanor, I realize she has overcome that terrible event. We enjoyed our daily life, accumulating small joys. Tending the garden together and going on weekend picnics became our delights. Watching Willow grow was my greatest pleasure. One evening, as Willow and I prepared dinner, she suddenly said with a serious expression, "Grandma, thank you for saving me back then. I don't know what would have happened to me without you." Those words made my heart swell with warmth. Willow, I'm so happy you're alive. Having you by my side is my greatest happiness. Willow grinned and said, "Grandma, I'll always be with you. Forever and always." At night, before going to bed, I peeked into Willow's room. She was in bed, reading a book. Seeing her peaceful figure, I was filled with heartfelt gratitude and a sense of security. Family bonds can sometimes be fragile. But true love overcomes any hardship, I whispered to myself. My bond with Willow made us strong and gave us hope for the future. Good night, Willow. I love you, I quietly murmured as I left her room. Willow closed her book and said with a smile, "Good night, Grandma." That night,